quiet on the set.
Here with us today is Tina Dombrowski, horticulture manager of the Marjorie McNeely Conservatory. Welcome to our show, Tina.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And first of all, let me ask you, the Marjorie McNeely Conservatory has gone by many names. I think we have a picture of it here of what people probably recognize it as over the years. And can you give us a little background on it?
Well, actually, it was the conservatory in Como Park, and it opened to the public as just the conservatory at Como Park in 1915. It has been in operation and has been an attraction here in the St. Paul area since then.
And it's over the years, I think we have another picture here of the inside. That was the outside of it, probably from about the 1950s, I think. We have a picture, I think, from the inside of it from about the same period. What are some of the features inside the conservatory?
The historic conservatory consists of a 64-foot palm dome,
So there
and
it is.
also
That's it there, right? Yes.
and two access greenhouses, Gothic arch style. This one you're looking at is the sunken garden. This is a garden that we host 5 different seasonal color botanical shows each year, and it's probably one of our most popular greenhouse venues that we offer. There's flowers year-round in this particular greenhouse.
Now, if someone wants to see that, is it really expensive to get in and look at this, or?
No, it is not. The Como Park Zoo and Conservatory is open year-round, 365 days a year, and it is actually a voluntary donation is suggested of $2 for adults and $1 for children. But everybody is encouraged to visit, whether you can pay a voluntary donation or not.
Now, this looks like this was a photograph from the early days of probably the 1920s or 30s or something like that. This is the garden, sunken garden, is it?
Yes, it's still the sunken garden, and you can see, this is a black and white photo. You can see how popular the garden has been all these years. The very first seasonal color display when the conservatory opened in 1915 were chrysanthemums, since it opened late in the year. So.
Now, do you have a paid staff that does the work in there, or is this volunteers that do the work? And we're looking now at, what is this here? This is the...
This is Gates Ajar, one of the early pictures. One of the most fascinating things about Gates Ajar is that it has been continuously planted every spring through summer season since 1894.
Wow, before the conservatory.
So yes, and it continues to be planted. Every year people come out and enjoy Gates Ajar.
Now this is a
more recent picture of Gates Ajar where it's been changed. It's the site of many wedding memories and wedding pictures.
Tell me about that. I mean, people go to have their weddings there even?
Oh, certainly. People host weddings here as well as within the conservatory. This is a popular photographic spot, and it takes about 16,000 plants in that. It's called a mosaic planting. You can see that there's symbolism in the plants representing faith, hope, and charity in the wheel of life. So.
Now, if somebody wanted to have a wedding or having pictures taken there, I guess there is a fee for that, and not a real big fee, but you said there is. You can't just walk in off the street and say, I want to do my wedding pictures
Well,
here.
the conservatory does have a photographic policy that we ask that you check in, and depending if you're a commercial photographer or just a visitor wanting to take photos, you can check in with our visitor services, and they will tell you about the fees, if there are any, and also some of the rules and regulations.
Well, let's see, we have another picture coming up here that I know that particular one, the gates we're looking at, this was the gates, right?
Yes, the Gates Ajar this
well, we just
past
saw,
winter.
Now it went through something like this for a while. You said earlier when I was talking to you that the flowers were holding up the infrastructure.
Yes, the plantings always look fantastic. The horticulture staff did a wonderful job with that every year, but the infrastructure was compromised. A lot of the bricks and mortar was starting to degrade. So this past winter, with the assistance of the park department, the gates was torn down, basically, the supporting wall. The gates themselves were taken off-site and repainted. And while that was happening, they started laying the footings for the new walls. So this is how it looked about the middle of winter.
And how is it,
before the snow.
how is it proceeding now? This is the start of something new, right?
Yes, this is a more recent photograph. I think this was about early April, late March, early April. And you can see where they've changed the infrastructure of the gates ajar. It's concrete cinder block and
Well, you can
mortar.
see how it's going to look like a gate, though, when it gets done, some of what it was. And I'm sure it'll be just as impressive, and flowers when it's on there be just even
It
more,
will
probably.
be, and it'll be completed, we're hoping, by June 8th, so.
June 8th of this year?
Yes, so come out and see it all planted
Actually,
and
while
ready.
this show is going on,
Certainly,
during the month
in
of
another
June,
couple
this is a
weeks.
reason for people to go see it. Now, you say gates ajar. How does that, what does that mean? Because the gates are kind of open, I guess. Was that
Well, right, and the gate is always, the two wrought iron gates are always left partially open.
kind of like
and
welcoming you to
Yes.
come in there and so on?
Certainly.
Let's see what we have next here. I think we have some other photographs to look at. Now, this is actually a more recent one of what?
This is the Como Ordway,
Japanese?
the
something?
Ordway, yeah, Como Ordway Memorial Japanese Garden.
Mm-hmm.
This is a family on the viewing stone overlooking the waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
The Japanese garden, the original one was designed and implemented in 1904 in the park. And through the years, it was relocated for the golf course. And then also, but the sister cities, Nagasaki, is St. Paul's sister city, donated a wonderful garden landscape plan by the Emperor Japan's landscape architect back in the 70s. So it was redesigned off those plans. And then again in the closer in about the 1990s, the garden went through another renovation. And this is what you're seeing now in
What's
the
going to be
Sansui
happening? I know
style.
you get some plans to not necessarily change the garden, but there are other plans that will be related to the garden, is that right?
Yes, we're really excited. The bonsai collection that the Marjorie
Bonsai. Now, what people don't know what that is. What is that?
Bonsai is essentially a tree in a pot.
Little
And
tiny trees that
yes,
have been
they're
manicured over years so that it's a full tree, but it's still a little tiny one.
it's particularly cultivated to remain in a certain style and to mimic this trees basically on compromised and mountainsides from the Japanese island.
And what's going to happen then with your bonsai
So the
collection?
bonsai collection, which we have about 150 bonsai in the collection, what's going to happen is they are right now only on display seasonally for part of the year in the bonsai gallery, but there's a capital campaign just underway to raise $1.75 million, and we're hoping to build a bonsai gallery which will house a collection or part of the collection year-round, so all of our visitors in the conservatory at Como Park can come in and visit and see bonsai year-round, but also have a bonsai garden that will display some of the cold, hardy, temperate bonsai. So we'll have both tropical and temperate bonsai on display, as well as building a natural transition and from the historic conservatory to the Como Ordway Japanese Garden
Well,
entrance.
we wish you well on your campaign, and obviously if anybody would like to help out, they can contact you then.
They certainly can call the park.
Thank you very much, Tina.
Thank you.